All right, guys, here we go again. I'm doing my little YouTube. This is Emmett D. Alpha Builders. We here, guys. I'm gonna kind of walk you guys through this thing here. Of course, we got our pump trucks here, boom truck. You know, now that I think about it, I did a video and said that, man, these guys need a boom truck every time you turn around. I don't think we could have done this without a boom truck. There's no way in the world. You know, yeah, those trucks wouldn't have bagged down here. No, they wouldn't have bagged down. Yeah. The boom truck was the way to go. Just go ahead and put in your budget boom trucks. It's gonna cost you about $2,700 to $3,000 per day. It tried to rain a little bit on us, man, but I think the rain is slacked up. We just need to hold off just a little bit longer. So let's kind of walk through this thing, guys. So guys, you guys kind of see this right here. What we got here is these are dowels. Now the city of Trussville, because we're gonna have a retaining wall. We're gonna have a 10 feet wall all the way down here, guys. And so the city of Trussville, the code allows you to have dowels every 2 feet apart. And then you gotta have so those your vertical, that's your vertical reinforcement. Then you have to have your horizontal, this is the code now. Then you have to have the horizontal at least within the first 2 feet, the top 2 feet, and one right there in the middle. That's all the code requires you to do. The city of Trussville requires you to have everything 1 feet apart, which means you got quadruple the amount of rebar that these guys have got to install. So guys, anytime you have so you have a building code and you have a municipal ordinance, you always have to defer to the code which is the most stringent, which would be the one that's everything is 1 feet apart. So that's what we got here, guys. And I also have my ground rod. So I've already met with the power company. I think I already talked about this right here earlier, but I've already met with the power company and we have already established that we're going to come in on this side right here. Plus this room right here is going to be a future utility room. So probably no problem with having the power. Not actually, it's going to be a future storage room. So it's probably not going to have any problem with having the power, the circuit breaker and everything right here. I also put a grounding rod up at the top just in case. I always try to put them in two places. I really don't like to walk under this boom truck, guys, but you see what we got to fill in. Look like guys, I know we're going to have a swimming pool back here, but looks like we got a swimming pool right here, man. This right here, we got to fill all this full of concrete. That's a whole truck right there. So we'll get all that done. Oh man, and we got another one over here. Jeez. Look at that hole there. So you can see that hole there. So now, actually, what we're sitting on right here, this is all field. This is where the excavator came in and filled. Guys, if you go down a little bit closer, you can see where it gets darker right here. That's the original soil. So we had to dig down below the field, which is this right here. We had to go to the original soil. Then we had to go all the way down to the undisturbed soil, all the way at the bottom right there. That's why this hole is so deep. Guys, you cannot build, or you cannot put footings on disturbed soil. So we had to dig past the field. You had to dig past the field and you got to get down to undisturbed soil. So that's why these holes are so deep back here. And they're actually gonna put a swimming pool back here, guys. So the swimming pool will probably be right back over here. So that's kind of what we got going on here, guys. So I'm just, once again, guys, on poor day, just be here. Be here just in case. Let's see what we got here. I'm just trying to look around, make sure everything's good. So we got one more truck, guys, and one more truck, and we'll be done. I calculated this thing down to the trucks, guys. So I'm getting better at this. Now I got to transfer this knowledge to the guys who are out here today. I'm gonna start training some of these guys to be me eventually. And that way I can probably spend just a tad bit more time focusing on the administrative side. Administrative side is really where you make your money at, guys, because you're working on your quotes, making sure you get your quotes and stuff right. You're making sure you get your you're making sure everything's right in the office, make sure bills get paid, etc. Those are things that you got to do, and you got to make sure you're seeing profit. Makes no sense for a company to exist and not be able to make a profit. So this right here, so we did have to step this thing up. So we have a main level garage going up here, guys. Main level garage going up here, and so we had to create we had to step that up and take it on up there because we're gonna pour a wall here and we're gonna fill all this in. This is a main level garage. We'll put some gravel in there and we'll do our thing on that too. We'll do that with the slab. So we'll do all the slab and all that stuff at one time. So the next step, guys, will be to come in here and the guys will form the walls up. Once they form the walls up, we could go ahead and put our gravel in here, and I can have my slab guy. Now, my slab guy does flat work. Guys, if you're gonna do footings, if you're gonna do concrete walls, basement walls, make sure, if it were me, I would make sure that my footings guy and my wall guy is the same guy. Put those two guys together, and waterproof. Let them waterproof their own stuff. So that if you have problems, it's all gonna be on that one person. That way you ain't got the footing guy saying, well, no, it was the wall guy's fault. And the wall guy ain't saying, well, no, it was the footing guy's fault. So you ain't dealing with that stuff, guys. So you gotta make sure you don't be dealing with that kind of stuff, guys. So I make sure my guys are the same. Now my flat work guy is a totally different guy. He comes in, he's really good. He'll come in. Now we're not gonna have any basement garages, so it is what it is on that. So we'll have to figure that thing out. Trying to think of what else we got going on here. Just thought I'd bring you guys in here and show this to my students tonight. We're on the technical side. Footings, guys, footings is the most important part of this thing, guys. Make sure you get your footings right. All right, guys, this is me. This is Emmett, the Alpha Builder. So this is the next day after we got the pour done. And I tell you what, man, it is hot out here. It is very dry. We're supposed to be having showers and things like that, guys. But this is how this thing turned out, man. I mean, you guys can kind of see. And guys, always take advantage of the time to come out here and take pictures. Every time you come and inspect your site, take pictures. And you guys are seeing this right here along with me. These are pier footings right here. This is actually a footing for a fireplace, but it's pretty big, guys. It's almost like a little pool back here. But take the time to come out here and these some more piers. Of course, the deck is gonna come back here. So these are some more piers that we have. And I gotta making sure you guys see this right here stuff as well. And so footings guys they did a really good job, man. I tell you what, I couldn't be more pleased with, we got our dowels in to attach the reinforcement in the walls. Guys, I went on ahead and wrote on I got to come back and write again, but I don't like for things to be not planned. I like to kind of know what's going on. I have the height of all the walls so that when they come out here and start doing the walls, they can look at the side of the dirt and see how high they need to go up with those walls. Because we're gonna step down right here because we got some windows on this side right here that we're gonna put high up. But you can kind of see how this footing, and man, this is, guys, you don't want no kids around here and stuff like this, right? Because this right here, I was talking to one of my students last night, and he was like, "Hey, man, you got to get some rebar things that you put on the rebar, but hopefully they won't be up here that long." because if you mess around and ran over here and fail, man, and one of these, you catch one of these pieces of rebar, that's probably gonna be a wrap for you. But you see how we step up right here and go to the main level garage. Of course, we will have probably about a 5 feet wall right here, up in this area right here on this side of that garage. So you kind of go, we still have to have the, we got to build a porch on here, but that's going to come with the slab. We're going to build a porch on here and we'll pour it all. We have a couple of more pours here, so we can either do the ledges for the porch when we pour the walls and get all that in there, or we can just come back when we do the slabs. But I want to have this foundation pretty much done, with the exception of the drives and walks. We'll have all that done when we start framing, before we start framing. So this right here turned out really nice. Now, once again, guys, the code doesn't require you. You guys see these you guys see how close this reinforcement in these walls are going to be. Each one of them is going to be 1 foot apart, and then even going horizontal, they're going to be 1 foot apart as well. That's something that the city of Trussville have in their ordinance. So probably at some point in time, they had a basement to collapse, and they did it according to the code. So they just went above and beyond to get this fixed. I mean, to change it so that they never had to worry about a wall again. You know, I get it. And guys, another thing I try to do, I try to kind of get somebody to use that for a string thing. Guys, I always keep some trash bags on my site. I always try to keep it clean. I don't like nasty sites. If your sites are really nasty and your subs help keep it nasty, guys, you just can't, you know, if you're not keeping a clean site, man, you can't see things. You know, there's a lot of things I like to see. So we got some more rebar. This is going to be for the walls. So next week we'll start forming the wall. Guys, you know, doing a basement like this here, especially when you have a main level basement, you have a main level garage and a basement, you know, it takes a little longer to do these things. It can take about a month. So you can kind of see this is the main level right here. And so what end up happening here, guys, is we'll get in here, we'll get over in here. First, we'll go ahead and pour the walls right over here, guys. All this will be poured. All that will be poured. So we have walls up kind of high as I'm standing right here. Okay. We try to match up over here. So we have walls up that high. And then what we'll do is we'll turn around and we get all this loose dirt out of here. So I have my guys get all this loose, you know, this loose dirt. That looks like rock though. But we get all this stuff out of here. Then what we'll do is we'll bring some gravel in here. But cool thing about this one right here is we don't have to really bring a whole lot of gravel in. Maybe think about 6 or 7 loads of gravel. It's not like I used to. I used to bring in 20 loads of gravel on these things because they used to remove all this right here. So we have good solid soil up under us. So all we need is just some gravel on top of that good solid soil. And then we can pour our slab for the main level garage on this right here, guys. I've seen it where I've even done it, man, where we started framing this portion of the house. And then we came back and did this portion later. You know, once the framers got to a certain point, we started working on this right here. But it's better to go ahead and get all this stuff done at the same time. So I'm starting to do it all at the same time now. You still have the footings laid out, but you do it all at the same time. So this right here worked out, guys. We got the porta pod moved up here so that, you know, you don't have to go 300 feet to the front of the road to use the bathroom. You can go ahead and do what you got to do in there and get on back out here and start working some more. So this is what we got, guys. And you guys see how humid and hot it is out here, because when I first started this video, I probably wasn't sweating. I'm sweating. The only thing I have to stress out about, guys, is when I'm walking down here, just hope I don't see no snake. Seems like every piece of stick that I look down at, man, I'm just thinking there's a snake. So One more thing I have to start doing, guys, and I know me as a builder, I don't have everything perfect. I have to interact, guys, I try to interact with my homeowners once a week, and then I try to engage with them via, text messages. We have a group text message with, husband, wife, me, my business partner on here. So everybody's there together. And then, so we got to communicate, guys. Because the one thing you don't want, and then not only that, guys, before I came out here, guys, I took a whole bunch of pictures. And this is something I'm incorporating. I'm trying to change up the way I do things. So I took a whole bunch of pictures of the site, each angle, and I use it with a software that I have on my phone. It's called Company Cam, guys. I'm not getting $1 from Company Cam, but Company Cam, take the pictures of it, and it's not stored on my phone. They're uploaded on their site. They have a cloud. So I take pictures. I probably take about 30 pictures, each angle of the house, and then I send it to the homeowners. I send it to a group so they can see the progress and they can see what's going on. But also I have a camera that I give them access to the camera too, so they can actually see me when I'm out here walking around. Because when I walk around, they buzz their phone, tell them I'm out here, someone's out here, and so I think that's a good, that way your homeowner's not constantly asking you, and because homeowners, guys, here's the thing, here's what I'm realizing, that is what the homeowners don't know that stresses them out. So they don't understand if you leave them up to their own devices and they have to come up with why something wasn't done or why something was done, this, that, and the other. When you leave, and I know, guys, you got to hold their hand, but if you leave everything up to them trying to figure that out, they're going to think the worst case scenario. And then, guys, it don't take but one item with that homeowner to negate everything you've done. You can build a house. House has over 300,000 parts, guys. I always say this. 300,000 parts, all assembled in. Everything could be perfect, but just one item that you guys got crossed on. And they would actually negate, and they will negate everything that you have done to make that house one of the best houses. So you just missed this one thing. And the thing that you probably could have missed could have been a cosmetic thing. It has nothing to do with structure or anything like that. But they'll wipe it clean. The memory bank wipe clean. They don't want to hear nothing else. You're just a bad builder now. So you gotta make sure you communicate with them, send them pictures as much as you can. Now, if you did everything on your side and they still just don't get it, then it is what it is. You probably just got a bad, sour homeowner. It's just looking for you to give them everything. All right, guys. Like, share, subscribe, and this is the way. Have a good one.